No.
Welcome back. Yankee and The Canuck, episode 9. I've got a quick question for you. Let me introduce my co-host, Edward, one of the best guys you could ever meet. I got a quick question for you. I'm going to let you mill on this. I'm going to open up the live chat. Can anybody tell me why Noah brought 2 mosquitoes onto the ark? What's going on, Edward? How you doing? That's the question I have for everybody.
I'm well, and you know what? That's a funny one. My sister told me one time. She said, "You know what? When I get to heaven, I gotta ask God. You know what was with the mosquitoes? Like, why did? What was?"
It's an honest question, right? Well, and there's an answer to it. There really is. I mean, because he would have defied God's law, defied God's word if he didn't bring 2 of everything.
Well,
but you still think about it and go, well, couldn't he have sinned just a little bit? Right? And said, no mosquitoes. You're done.
I just thought that was funny, when she told me that. That's not going to be my first question to him, but yeah, I'll throw that in eventually. I just thought that was funny when she mentioned that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, all the chat rooms are open if you guys want to chat with us. So we got the Twitter chat, we got the Rumble chat, we got the Locals chat, we've got the Twitch chat, we've got the YouTube chat. They're all open if you want to join us. Hey, listen, I'm going to say it now, and I'll probably say it again soon. The only way that the algorithm works on any of these social media platforms is if you give us a like and a share. And everybody gets tired of hearing that. But if you want to hang out with us, if you like it, I get annoyed by it. It drives me insane. But that's the only way that we can build a platform and get more people engaged with us. So I just want to leave that there. So Edward, where are we going tonight?
Well, you know what? A few things, and we don't get the news up here. I got to go to the States like you guys to get it. And Bill O'Reilly, remember him? Our good old friend Bill, screw it. We're going live with the news. Made the announcement, was it yesterday, the day before yesterday, that one of the 3 things Trump was talking about, we had the Panama Canal, we had Canada and Greenland. I didn't know this, but the Panama Canal is already done. Chinese are out. Americans are soldiers on the ground. The flags are up. American ships sailing on through. So the whole deal's been done for quite a while now. Of course, network news is not going to tell us that because, again, that would be putting one up with Trump, and they're not going to do that. So I had to find out from, the guy they kicked out of network news, Bill, to keep us up to date on some of this stuff. Good going for him, too. I appreciate. He's finally back on my news feed now. I don't know where he went, but he's back on, at least for that story, which I was grateful for. So comments on that, or we should be going to what the big announcement is for Canada coming up. I think tomorrow, the next day. I can't remember now.
Well, I am curious about that. I really am, because Trump was with Carney, right? There was supposed to be some big announcement, and from my understanding, it was supposed to be Thursday or Friday of last week or Monday of this week. And then Trump comes out, right, and says, we're not paying drug prices.
No.
I'm going to totally get into that stuff in a different show tomorrow. But that was
I got to tune in because I got a lot to add to that too. Not just the pharmaceuticals, although yeah, we definitely need to go into that and what's been going on as far as when he talks about subsidizing. Yeah, we kind of got out of that, well, because we're using cheap knockoffs from China, but that just started in the last 10 to 20 years. But yeah, we and our tax dollars. No one knows this free, what they think free healthcare system. We've been paying through the nose, and people don't even realize it. So when they say we have cheap drugs, that depends on what you're talking about and what kind of drugs. Because I'm telling you right now, if you're a diabetic or anything serious, no, you're paying through the nose. So yeah, there's so much we could cover a lot of ground on that one. A lot of that stuff I'm checked right off about too. But yeah, I wanted
Man,
to,
yeah, if you got time, you should totally join that show. I'm gonna save all that. But so wait,
gotta.
I got something. I've got to go punch in the face. I've got a device going off. But I'll be able to hear you. What do you think this big announcement was? And I'm just gonna take a quick walk away and go turn this annoying thing off.
You
But
go
I'll
do
be able to
that.
hear you.
But okay, I got it. When I was talking about the big announcement, I'm thinking it's more currency related. So I'm not saying CBDCs, but it's going to be something I think pretty close to that. And whether we share in a common currency coming up or combine ourselves with them, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I think that's what he's alluding to. King coming on the 27th to open up the session of Parliament. It's going to be quite an interesting battle there because if Trump wants us, how are you going to wrestle that away from the king? Being so we're the oldest in the Dominion, Canada, that is. um, I don't know. Maybe he's got something on him that he's going to be negotiating with. I have no clue, but it's going to be a heck of a battle. And not that Trump couldn't win it, because I know he can. Yeah. By the way, did you see that new viral post going around about the drones in Florida with the salute and celebration of Trump? Have you caught that yet or seen that? With all the drones you
No.
haven't heard about in Florida. World's best deal maker, and as far as hostages go, and he's got everything going on up there. I couldn't believe the size of scale of that. It's huge. I don't know how many drones they could have used, but anyways, you got to research, look that up,
I
and
will.
see drones. Trump drones in Florida. That was. It's actually. It's good. Whoever did that did a great job. But yeah, I loved it. It's just I couldn't imagine being there actually looking at that because the scope of it is huge. So yeah, I imagine the letters are probably the size of a 747, just each one by the looks of it. But yeah, go ahead and look at that because they did a great job. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. So, let's slow down. Let's evolve this out, like it's a morning coffee.
huh,
So Carney visits Trump. Carney says stuff, right? Carney says, "You need us. You need us for automotive. You need us for this. 50% of every Canadian car is American." And Trump publicly negotiating with him in the White House, right? Says, actually, it's the other way around. We don't want Canadian cars. We don't want Canadian steel. We don't want Canadian aluminum. We just want to make it here. We don't need anything from you, basically. And so, like social media being what social media is, one side, the socialist side of
yeah.
social media, Carter, you what? Look at how he stood up to Trump, but they didn't play the Trump part, where
I
Trump
know.
says, I actually don't think we need anything from you at
Well,
all. We can cut you off
mm,
and be just fine. And when you have the Canadian leftists and the American leftists, and they're looking at this going, no, it will crush the American economy. It won't. It won't.
no,
Will it put a blip in it? It will. It will. It temporarily, because
but too small a one to
the
matter.
energy sector, We're opening back up. The mining sector, we just signed a new deal. We just reversed another Biden policy to dig uranium, which we're going to use for nukes. We're also going to use for batteries. I'll get
Hmm.
into that later. We're just reversing all of the Green New Deal stuff in America that was we were stuck with, and Trump couldn't get
That's true.
away from it in his first term because of Paul Ryan, and Paul Ryan can GFY.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Yeah. Now,
currently a board member at
yeah.
Fox News, and Fox News can GFY.
We all thought, well, Fox News has kind of slid away from and Paul Ryan, again, is not my favorite guy at all. But yeah, I can't imagine, being on the board there. And I forget the old guy, Rupert. I can't remember his name now, but his sons are taking over.
Murdoch.
That's right, Murdoch. And his sons are taking over now. And I guess his sons are absolute libtards. So go figure that he would have Paul Ryan on the board just for direction. And yeah, like I said, I don't really want to talk about that because you're going to wreck my night. And Fox News was okay back in the 90s and 2000. It was great. I liked it better than CNN. It was just the morning shows, everything was better. But people
Well,
couldn't.
our friend Paul explained it best when they used to be news readers. So, like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they would get on and read the news to you through the teleprompter, but no different than I would read a news story to you off my phone, right?
Yeah,
These guys, all of them, every single one of them have turned into opinion shows.
I know.
So there's no news. Well, there is news. Now news is here on Rumble. Now news is on X.
That's exactly right. And you know what network news is? You know the old story. If you tell a lie over and over again, often enough, it becomes journalism.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Uh,
that's what we're living today. So yeah, don't give me
Jesus.
this. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, they just read what they were told, and it did make a lot of sense. But today, it's so twisty, turny, and the propaganda machine is like again alive and well. But I don't want to get stuck on that. I want to bring up one more point before we get off the pharmaceutical thing we got into, and that's cell phone costs. As you already know, Canada pays the highest of any country in the world rates for cell phones, and America's not that far behind. It's because we kind of our mill rates are kind of done a little differently than yours because we like to lie to the people. So we'll just hide the cost in what they bill a month and lower the price of the unit or the cell phone. Where you guys don't do that because you got more competition, more providers. We don't have that. So you can go full blown, tag a price in a cell phone. That's what it's going to cost. High end one, $2,200 US to buy one. And I remember during COVID, all the pictures they used to show us of different countries around the world of all these, third world countries. I don't care if it was, it could be Argentina, could have been, Somalia, could have been anywhere. All these people in their masks on cell phones. I'm thinking, how are these people in these third world countries starving to death, eating a bowl of rice on a brand new cell phone? Because we, the West, us, are subsidizing them with the prices we're paying. So when the president's talking about pharmaceutical costs, hey, let's talk about all the costs that we're, I guess, enduring. I mean, that would be a good word, I guess, because we have been cell phone costs. We're paying for all these poor countries to have cell phones and service. So yeah, don't get me going on just pharmaceuticals because the president could do a lot better than that and talk about a lot more things besides pharmaceuticals. Let's tackle these cell phone costs and have these slugs from overseas pay their fair share. And the Somalians, I had to say that because I know a person who might be getting shipped back their PDQ. I hope, anyways. You know the name from Minnesota. You know that one. You know her. You know what I'm talking about. I hope she's
Hmm.
gone by tomorrow. I really do. Although I know that's not going to happen, but wishful thinking. But yeah, so yeah, why don't we look at everything that's going on in the world and what this United Nations New World Order, I don't care what you call them, what they're doing to the West, bringing us down to bring them up. So it's not like we're giving those guys a helping hand up, these other countries. No, we're paying to the nose to bring them up where we're going down, and somewhere we're going to meet in the middle where we'll all be equal. Not fair, but equal. And that's what ticks me off about communists or socialism the most. Uh, it has nothing to do with fairness. It's just equality. Equality and fairness are not the same, and people don't
Nope.
realize that. They think, well, we'll just take from one and give to the other. It's not fair because one may have worked his entire life for it, and the other guy just, skating through life nice and comfortable, not really exerting himself or putting much effort into any one thing, and yet gets the same benefit as the guy that's worked at it and for it his entire life. So I wanted to mention that, seeing as how we're on pharmaceutical, and mention the cell phone costs and what we're paying. $10 for a cell phone. That's what it costs. The guy, friends with the chair, the CEO, Apple, it costs $10 to make a cell phone. So we're paying how many thousands for cell phones, and it costs $10 to make one. So yeah, talk about having thousands of percentage markup on these things, which we're paying for these other countries to give cell phones to them in service because we're paying for it. So yeah, we should be buying for $10, not them. But that's the equality thing we're trying to have now around the world. So yeah.
Well,
Okay, President Trump, bring that up, bring pharmaceuticals, bring it all up. Let's talk about it. Yeah, by all means.
I've got. I will lay this all to waste tomorrow. I'll probably spend the entire podcast on it over on Podcast Pad. I don't want to waste it here because we're doing Yankee and
Right,
The
right.
Canuck,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
I mean, I know you and I could we've known each other for a long time. We could,
Well, I'll just listen. I'll
I
just
can,
listen in because if I interrupt, I'll be going on for hours because it just ticks me off to
I,
no end what they've done to it. So I'll definitely be
listen,
listening in.
if you could join in, I think tomorrow's going to be awesome. But I really want to keep it, this one specifically. I really don't understand. Well, I do. I do. I don't think people understand why the king is going to open up Parliament in Canada at the end of the month.
Yeah, well, I know why. And I think because too many people in our country, and I've talked to a lot, and I'll tell you that he's coming down to calm things down. We got all these different provinces wanting to leave the, Confederacy, the Dominion, as it's called, but they're
Oh, they're
angry.
calling it Dominion as
Well,
opposed to.
that's the Dominion of Canada is how we started off. But you know what? And the Confederation joining all these provinces together under one big happy umbrella family, and it never did happen that way. It was kind of even just the way your system's set up. It's like I told you before. As soon as the voting hits Southern Ontario, you might as well just turn off your TVs because the West they don't count for anything. Before it gets past Ontario, the election's already decided. And that's what everybody's so upset about. And it should have been done a little more fairly, and it's not. And how to change it, I don't know. But they have good reason to be ticked off, and I don't blame them. But I think he's coming to calm things down, pull people back together. Wouldn't help me. I wouldn't care. And I'm good to be done with the monarchy and be a constitutional republic like America is, have a constitution to follow. No, I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't care how you're feeling that day. Just follow what's in print. Don't change it. We're going to live by that and die by that. I don't care about your stupid feelings and opinions at this point. And that's why I like a constitutional republic so much better than a monarchy that can change it on a dime whenever they damn well please. And it's going to be for them, not for us. So we already know that's going to happen and has been happening. So yeah, let's change this. And he's here to do just that. Because like I said, Canada's up for grabs. And these stupid Canadians I talked to on some of these spaces on X, oh my God, you know what? I could go into so much detail, but you might as well firebomb the whole show at that point because you know what? They think, yeah, if we could just do this. I said, are you kidding, guys? Canada is not going to be sitting in the middle of the world as an island all in itself. No military, but we do have a rowboat with one oar. That's all we got.
Dude,
And
I
they think
saw two helicopters one time across Lake Huron.
I remember yeah, and we still got those stupid Sea Kings still in service. I know, but hey, so I have to say though that people don't realize you can't do that. There's too many countries that want what we have as far as resources. You got China, you got Russia, you got well, America even sharing all that too. So it comes that what country's going to grab it. There's a big fight over the country. I sent you that clip. Well, I guess it was a couple nights ago now. What would happen if the country did come up, for grabs?
You
And
know what was funny in that clip? So I watched it, and hey, these are all just people, and it was a very well done clip. Is
I
that
thought they did a good job.
they
Yeah.
ultimately said that Russia would put nukes into
Mm,
Canada as
France,
like
another
due
one.
to it.
I,
It's like
yeah.
France is gonna be super fucking mad if they don't get Canada. That's not going to happen. And they're
No.
showing a nuclear war in North America. It's like none of that happens because France, trust me, they've been friends with America. They've been foes with America, but mostly friendly.
Yeah.
And in the War of 1812, we actually they financed our war against Britain for the third war we had against Britain, fighting off
I know.
those douchebags and proving yet again that we were our own country,
Yeah.
which Canada has not yet done. And
No.
we've been very clear about this on this podcast.
And that's yeah.
Canada has not declared independence from the crown. It is not. And for the last 40 years, everybody in Canada has been told we have a constitution. I think it was like 1980, what, two?
Yeah.
Okay, you could have a constitution and still
Wow.
be part of the crown.
Well, of course.
And so I think your king is coming to say, hey, listen, he's coming for a couple of reasons. He's trying to
Oh,
tell
I know.
Donald Trump, you can't take my land. Donald Trump just says stuff. Everybody needs to stop freaking out about what Donald Trump says. Second, Canada, no, you are not an independent nation, and we want you to be.
Yeah.
Or you could be American. So,
You know what? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, because we've been taught that, well, I guess, through our school system that Canada, is its own nation, and it's not. It's always been under the crown. As a matter of fact, when I first started going to school, we had the Union Jack as a flag. Before we had this, I think it was 1967, 1968. Let's see. So, yeah. Actually, it was the 70s. When I was in kindergarten, grade one, I'd be in the 70s. So grade two, we started singing, the national anthem. I think I was in grade three at that time, maybe. So later on, and we had our own flag by that time. Other than that, yeah, we were still very much a part of England, the crown, which now we call Great Britain because it's taken in Scotland and I think it's Northern Ireland. I can't remember.
Northern Ireland. Yep.
So yeah, but still, it's still England to me. Always will be because there's too much the animosity that goes on with Ireland, and I don't even want to get into that. But yeah, so yeah, we're morons as far as thinking that we can stand alone, and defend ourselves against what happens if all the Chinese trawlers come and start and keep taking our fish, because let's face it, the cod didn't disappear. We just made different arrangements and agreements with China and Russia to take the fish, to sell to everybody else for whatever deal, back room, closed door deal they made back in the day. I don't know what it was. The East Coasters they don't even ask. I mean, they just, okay, we'll close down our canneries and the fishing and we'll go quietly. No, I wouldn't. I'd be, yelling at the top of my rooftop and lungs, as far as, why and what's going on here. But they didn't. They just stayed silent. Just kind of just disappeared to nothing, which really bothered me because that's not Canada. Those aren't Canadians. And maybe that's where all these transfer payments are going to keep them shut up. So that could be too. I don't know. Doesn't explain Quebec though, but does explain the East. But hey, the forestry, same thing. They've gutted that too. Pulp and paper mills shut down, gone. But again, no one's saying anything because they're doing it slowly, piece by piece, industry and sector by sector. And
All right,
always,
well, that drives me straight into the conversation. And it's only been around for a hair over 100 years of Marxism or communism. Slowly,
Well,
Now I gotta interject real quickly. Generations are typically about 25 years. They can sway, because people have children late or young, but typically a generation's about 25 years. And so with 100 years, you have four generations.
yeah.
That's a pretty accurate description. And within 100 years, they've taught people to forgot that the Bolsheviks, and then
Oh, girl,
later
that's
in the 1960s, think about this, just the 1960s, when the Communist Chinese Party came online, 100 million people have died because of their political stance.
right. Yeah, I know.
And like it's like you get out. What was that thing? It was it. I can't remember the name of the movie. It's like it was something about aliens, and
Oh God.
Will Smith was in it, and he had the
Yeah.
eraser.
Yeah.
And so all these people are going to college, and they're like, communism is awesome. And then the meme is 100 million people have died in the last 100 years because of communism.
Uh-huh.
Blink, you forgot it.
Not even 100 years. And by the way, they always told us in school, and they still preach this too, that it's been the holy wars that's killed the most people throughout the last century, and it has not been. It's not been, the holy wars to say. It's always been countries that have fought against countries. Communism being the biggest part of it, that has killed the most people. It's been governments, not religion. So it's not been the religious wars at all, as we've been told, because that's all fake and a lie. It's been, government's been doing that. But it's about time somebody said, hey, these governments are getting way too much strength and power. About time we cut them down to size, more manageable, and told the truth of really what's going on out there, and have the school boards, straighten their act out. Which I think we should get rid of the school boards, anyways, because that's another 2 hour conversation there. But yeah, don't get me going on those. Just to correct the information they're telling kids today is far from being true. We should straighten their asses out once and for all, but that's not going to happen anytime soon because, well, we're right back in the same government we supposedly voted out. They got back in.
Well, I'm gonna probably throw this off course, but were the Crusaders even Christian?
Oh, hey, that was the Crusades. That was another thing. It depends what timeline you're going into now because as I said and mentioned once before, that was more just like a rape and pillage thing that these crusades were all about. And because the Muslims
So if people like if they could picture it, would it be like watching the show Vikings? We're just conquering land.
worse, but yeah, it was even worse than that.
So
But
did it have anything to do with their Christian faith?
no, that didn't happen until much, much, much later on. And that was only one little blip of the whole thing. That was just to push them back, and that was in England. I don't know if you remember King Richard, those days, Lionheart. And that would be right around the 14th, 15th centuries. Yes. So, oh, by the way, just in time for the Catholic Church to take the hard left stand that we talked about, the 1525, where they went right left with, the first Pope Gregory and all those silly laws that he made for the church, which I mean, they started out so good, and then the Catholics took this hard left and kept turning left, and now look, they got all these sacraments now. They got the Pope's infallibility; he could do no wrong. Oh my gosh, it's got ridiculous, and they should go back before that point in time and go back to being real, just Christians. Never mind, just be Christians, and all be good. But they started off so good too, but look what happened. Look where they are.
I
So yeah, I'm disappointed in that.
I totally want to go there. Why
You,
do they believe? I think it was Ezekiel. Is the I can't remember the verse. Maybe it was 1:8. Why do they believe that Jesus turned Peter's name to
uh,
rock?
yeah, we gotta
Wait,
go back.
hold on, and then later said, "On rock I build foundation of my church." Like I could answer some of this myself, but why do they think that makes Peter a pope creating the Catholic Church. That just like because you could like if you look at the statement alone on this rock I create my church. Rock is a foundation.
Yeah,
That
and
doesn't say Peter's a pope.
I know that, and that didn't. You know what? Catholicism didn't happen until way after the first century, and I forget the guy's name now. Gosh, first, so the Emperor of Rome, and you're actually 65, 70, and I forget that guy's name too, but Ignatius, that'd be the first century. Their job was to kill all Christians. That was their job, and confiscate anything they had. That was a Roman's job. And then Roman Catholicism enter. What's his name? And this is going for a long time. This conversation. When enter the guy's name? Constantine. And he made it legalized. Okay, Christianity is going to be okay. Do it our way. What way? The Roman government way, the Roman Catholicism way, the Roman Catholic way, which means Catholic just means universal. So we're going to have a universal religion, which that's Catholic in that language. Which is Latin. We're Greek based. They're Latin.
Sure.
You say, let's have a universal religion that's safe from it all, as long as you practice it our way and through. You can't worship God by himself. You have to do it through the government, through us. Worship us. And that's how the whole thing started. To be safe, you have to include the emperor or the pope, which that became. And that's why Roman Catholicism or the Roman culture or the Rome itself, Roman law and world law today is still based on Roman law, is still with us. And then we have the other leg, Greek Orthodox, and they broke off from that because, no, that's stupid even thinking we're going to follow that practice from the Rome. And they followed the Greek side of things, not the Latin side of things. So that's a big split. And anyways, that's a whole conversation. We could go on. We could do 5 shows on that. But yeah, it's incredible why they did that. They started out so good too.
I want to be clear. I am not trying to pick on Catholics, Orthodox of any denomination.
Yeah,
Greek,
I know.
Roman,
We love our brothers and sisters, all of them.
Russian. Like, I would say that the Russian Orthodox pissed off at Zelensky for banning their church
Yeah.
and arresting all their
That's I know.
their clergy.
Yeah.
Clergy is probably the best word to use.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would think in general. This is why the America has the best constitution in the world is because we were separatists. Canadians were supposed to be too. And what did we want? Government, leave me alone because I want to worship God the way I worship God.
Correct. And isn't that why we ran away from Europe to begin with, anyways? Aside from the threat of losing our heads, for not bowing down to, Queen Mary, Bloody Hearts, killing all the Christians. If you didn't bend your knee to worship Catholicism in the Pope, it wasn't even the Pope at that time, can't remember. Be pretty close to it. You just lost your head and all your land and money and everything else. That's where the Catholic Church started gaining so much money so quickly by taking it all.
Well, there was so you'll get this on social media, which is just a fantastic place. Either love it or hate it, but you'll get this that the Catholics believe Peter was the first pope, and I believe I said it was Ephesians 1:8. Peter, I name you rock. Rock, I build church, which I laugh at. If you read the actual thing, and I could bring it up if we need to, this does not define Peter as the pope. What it said, and if you look at all of the Gospels, and if you look at the totality of the Bible, what Jesus and during his lifetime was saying was, go spread the good news. What's the good news? I am here to save you. So to be very clear, that was the church. That is a church. That's the church message. That's
It's
the message they want that
mm,
Jesus wanted you to send. He did not give anybody power to be God on earth in replacement of him. He said, go spread the good news. What's
yeah.
the good news? You can be saved. All you have to do is John 3:16. For God
Mm,
so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, whoever believe can be
yeah.
saved by him.
I also, yeah, we're going to get back into the faith and works conversation again that we had before because everybody's going to say, well, it's just not faith alone. There's some works or effort required, and the Catholics are big on that. We're thinking, no, it's just faith. The works come out of faith, not because of it, but it will come out of that or through that. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I wanted to get back to that Peter thing and why they called him the first pope. Because who they have after he died? There was nobody. Are you going to call the Roman emperors the popes then? From Peter to, and besides that, that doesn't work out. So what they're saying does not make sense because how do you get from Peter 500 years later, even more than that, to the first pope? Can't remember his name now. Pope
Uh,
Gregory. How do you get to Gregory the First, 1525, from Peter in AD, AD now, or BC, I mean, not
BC.
AD? Then how do you get that? From that, that's 5 centuries away. Who was serving as Pope during that time? If what you're saying is true, and why'd you leave Paul out of it? The guy who wrote most of the New Testament, you just what? Just he's nothing. Just ignore him. Didn't mean anything. I mean, how do you get that? Peter, I mean, he did write a couple of books, First and Second Peter, and what else? I don't think he wrote anything else after that, just that. But Paul did. I mean, how do you just dismiss him out of the whole equation? But that's a whole. You know what? I could talk to hours on some of these, and I'm talking not just Catholic parishioners, the Catholic. I'm talking about the actually Catholic, priests, cardinals. Let's have at the top. Tell me where you're passing these idiot laws down to these people. Where do you get them from? Tell me the history. I want to hear it. But they couldn't do it because they don't know enough, anyways. Because a lot of us just fill in baloney stuff. But let's not even get into that.
Oh, yeah, listen. And again, this isn't an attack
No, God no.
on any denomination. But I've had conversations with friends that go to Greek Orthodox Church, right?
Yeah,
And they speak in Greek, and they take their children, and they have no idea what anybody's saying because they don't personally speak Greek. They just go for the pomp and circumstance, and like you have no idea what that dude's saying to you. He could literally be saying Super Mario Brothers is the best video game ever, and you go, oh man, you have no idea what they're talking about. Like it's But I do understand that people do want, there's a lot of people, they really do want some sort of pomp and circumstance,
yeah.
and maybe the swinging incense bucket and the robes. It's not for me, and that's fine. It could be for you. But my question, I guess, is going to be, what did you learn today at church if you can't even understand the language they speak in?
I know I couldn't. Yeah, I could, and that's a Catholic thing because lots of Catholics do actually do speak and understand Latin. I'm not
Yep.
one that would go that route because our language basically mostly of Greek, not Latin. We still use hydro for water, not aqua, even though it's been trying to be thrown our way. It's still mostly Greek words for our language, which comes through German. So yeah, that's English. It's just a melting pot of a couple different things. But yeah, I could probably go on for a long time. Remember, we had Booker on his show and we tried. And you know what? He's the same. He's, I think, on the same opinion of us. They're great people. Took a hard left back years ago, and now it's just kind of a mishmash of different things and just try to straighten things out. I don't know, but I think he feels the same as we do. Great people. Uh, Someone should actually, take a little more time and suggest more things to, well, church leaders are not going to listen to him anyways because remember what happened to Martin Luther? Almost lost
Yep.
his head. But anyways, yeah. So I do want to say though, if we're going to do another show coming up soon, I'd rather do it more on the dangers of psychology today in our present day society and what it's doing to it. I think that should be the just give politics a break for a second, see what happens with Trump and his whatever he's going to announce, and go from there. But I think the dangers of psychology today, I think would be a much better show, which more needed only because of the posts I've been reading so far on X basically, and that word that everybody's throwing, this new catchword, narcissism or narcissistic. Most people don't even know what it means, don't even know where it came from. It's ridiculous how they're even thinking of it. I think we should do it just to show them what that really means, or the real term that it came from before psychology turned it into narcissism, what it really means and where it came from, and just some other things too. The dangers and what's happening to our churches. The libraries in our churches today, not all of them, but a good many of them, are filled with psychology books. Now, that's ridiculous. That leaves out faith, that leaves out everything by trying to do it scientifically. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're. I've studied psychology for so many years now. It's ridiculous. And some of the ones that people seemingly worship today, like Dr. Scott Peck and some of the other ones, there's a whole conversation on some of his books I'd like to get into too. The Road Less Traveled and other ones that he misses the mark so much. But yeah, we got to do that sometime just to straighten out some of the nonsense going on out there.
Sure. I'd absolutely love to cover that.
Yeah,
I,
it's a need too today. It's got to that point now with all this posts I'm reading, I'm thinking, oh my God, I could write a book just answering that one question, and I don't have the time to do that, and I don't want to write a book on it right now. So yeah,
well, yeah, and I think we have enough time. Maybe we can dig into this. Just words have meanings,
yeah,
and all of a sudden, words are coming back around 80 years later with terms like fascism
hmm
and socialism. Now, a lot of the left believe socialism is really awesome, but they also at the same time say fascism is awful. We must defeat Donald Trump. And they don't understand the meaning of words. And I'm not attacking them. I'm saying they don't
yeah.
understand what that actually means. What is fascist? Fascist literally is how you progress people into communism. And again, I explained this earlier. Communism, the actual communism that we've been fighting, it's not Donald Trump. It's only been around since the Bolsheviks
Well,
in 1917.
I wish
We,
people.
we've had other movements that were very socialist, but like the actual communist movement was the Bolsheviks,
Well,
Russia, and then China picked it up. Then South Korea picked it up. Then
uh,
North Vietnam picked it up. There's lots of countries that have gone full communism.
I think Roman Empire was communist though in its application of law and what they did. So I don't know if you could say we just ran into it in the late 18th, 19th
I think
century. What? What's that?
you could make that argument. I would go with if with the current Western view of it. I would say that was socialist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose because they still had the Senate and whatnot. Still, the emperor still did control and call the shots. Uh,
Until they
yeah.
killed him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Brutus. You. But yeah. I guess that
E2?
when you had
E2?
the senators, I guess, got together and conspired. I guess that happens everywhere now. But yeah, even in a Chinese communist country, that could happen there too. Hopefully, he's got enough of the right military around him to prevent that from happening. I don't know, but yeah, that could still happen. But what an interesting conversation to get into as far as that goes, because I blame network news for first using that catchword fascism because they didn't know what it meant, because what they're calling fascist is exact opposite to what the word means. They haven't got a clue. And like I've always told you, socialism's only sole job is to usher in communism. That's its only job. Its primary function and job is to do just that, to bring it in, to introduce it, make it look all good, and then go into communism, take all the money, leave the country broke, and then you're here slaving away for nothing, and you have no rights because you're not going anywhere, and you got no money anyway, so you're pretty much living off the government because they won't allow you to do anything. Well, you can, you just get shot. So, I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and do whatever you want, but yeah, this is what we're up against. This is what's going on today. Never give up your arms, gentlemen. America or Canada, you keep them guns. That's the only thing keeping them at bay, those murderers. So, yes, keep that in mind. And I think the U.S. has got probably more guns per citizen than any country on the face of this planet, thankfully. True. So, yeah, we need that. So never surrender your weapons, because we're banking on you guys keeping those guns. Harry?
Well, do you remember there was one of the Joe Biden speeches where he said, like, I believe if I'm trying to be as correct as possible, he said, what are you going to do with your Second Amendment? What are you going to do? You don't have F-15s. And everybody laughed their ass off. We don't need F-15s to fight back a tyrannical government.
I know.
Go screw yourself, Joe. You're retarded. And there's a reason. Listen, there's a reason everyone said he was retarded at the time, because he was suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia, a combo of both. Jake Tapper, can I talk for a second? If anybody's watching this or watches it later, don't buy his book. That dude grifted, literally grifted off the fact, telling everybody that Joe Biden was he's as smart as a tack. He was mentally fit. He was physically fit. He could run upstairs. Listen, everybody should just stop. Don't even reply to his posts. Don't do it. Don't do it at all. Unbelievable. God. Jake Tapper. There was a time where Jake Tapper was actually a decent reporter. And
well, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember the time he was, but he's just so I don't even know what the word to use. Socialist minded. He's just basically taking everything that they tell him to do and just doing it, whether it's right or wrong. And I disagree with that. Money, it shouldn't be your primary focus on recording news or telling the news. And when it gets to certain points where you're actually lying outright to the public, you got to stop. You got to do something about that. Hey, you know what? My camera. Can you see me?
Nope, I lost your camera. We still got some time to go.
What's that right next to you?
Just go ahead and click that button down. I think it's below you.
Oh, I did something wrong here now. Oh no! But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, not just what's going on there, but also here too. Journalists do have a responsibility, and let's not sell yourself out as they've been doing. And money, of course, we all need it, but let's not sell our souls and sell the country out because of that either. So, and Jake Tapper's already done that.
Well, I want to be clear, because you got to look at this from all sides. We are opinion people. Me and you, we do a podcast. We're opinion people. So is Jake Tapper. We are not the news. Neither is Jake Tapper.
No, but people don't know.
We just make observations about stories that have happened, whether it be from the 1600s or the 1200s or yesterday. That's what we do. We are not news. We're opinion people, and people need to understand that Jake Tapper or Jun Saki, Circleback Saki, these are opinion people. They should be treated the same way that you and I are.
Yeah, it's too bad that people don't acknowledge that they're
I
just.
still don't know where your camera went.
Let's just see what's going on here.
I think
Uh,
you have to click camera. No? I don't know.
let's just see what
At
this.
least I could hear
What does
you.
this mean right here? You can tell it's new.
Mm. Yeah, you just bought a freaking Ferrari. Well, you got to figure out how to work it.
Yeah, and I'm doing just that. Yeah, that's the most disappointing thing about these journalists. They're not even journalists. Let's be honest. Let's not even call them that because that's an insult to good journalism. They're not journalists. And I don't even know what you want to call them besides just outright selling your soul to lie to people. The propagandists just don't it doesn't even cover it as far as the word goes. So I don't know. Oh, here we go. No,
Found the button. Did you find the button?
wrong. Hit the wrong
Yeah.
one.
Alright.
I don't know what's going on.
Alright. Let's do a little shop talk. On the bottom of my screen, there's a microphone, a camera, and then a bunch of other buttons, left or right.
Yeah.
And you can just click the second one, which is your camera, and open
Right.
it up.
I am. Nothing's happening.
Really?
Why is nothing happening?
Just turned mine off for fun.
I don't know. I don't get it. Oh, it should be on.
Well, your audio's on, but yep, it's not on. By the way, just so you know, video is
Yes.
very clear, very good. So your upgrade on your podcast studio was solid, very solid. Audio was good, video was very good. I have no idea what you clicked to turn yourself off.
I don't know.
Whatever. And again, I honestly don't know because I've never been on the other side of a Rumble Studio podcast. I've only hosted them. I
Right.
don't know what your screen looks like. Like, and maybe I need to do a podcast with somebody else so I can experience what that is. I have no idea.
I don't know why. I have no idea why I did that. I can't tell you. But it is what it is. I blanked out, and I wish I knew. Do you have to do a right click, left click? Do you have to click at all? I don't know.
Well, so on the bottom, you know what? Listen, people listening to this will find this funny, so we should just go ahead and talk about it. Like on the bottom of my screen, very bottom, the microphone control,
Yeah.
camera control, share screen, add people, and volume control. So you should have a camera control button somewhere down there. Yeah, you just muted yourself. Now
Am I back
uh,
on?
you're back on.
Yeah.
Now, now,
I've tried to
now,
do the
go ahead
same.
and well, there's another button for the camera.
Yeah. Doing
It's a
it. We just won't
well,
come to. I don't know why.
let's see.
It flashes on, then off. On. Maybe it's you.
It ain't me, bro. It
No.
ain't me, bro.
Uh,
I'm at like 39 of these things. It's not me.
no. I guess. Yeah. This is not your first rodeo, so
Correct.
yeah. I guess yeah. Yeah. I can mute and not, but I can't get. I don't know what happened.
No, there's the other one. It's a square with a tiny little camera and a lens
Yep. I know what
going
that
out
would
of it.
look like.
Click on that. What's it? I mean, whatever. People are gonna listen to this. They're gonna watch it. We're gonna see if we can figure out how to
They're
Fix
gonna
a podcast
they're gonna
live.
they're gonna think I'm retarded more than I already am, and that's okay. They say
Well,
you
we
don't
got to
know.
figure it out.
You mean you don't even know anything about computers? No, not really. No. Yeah, I only do what
Sure.
Sean. I just do what Sean tells me to do. Hit this
It's
here and go
lovely.
through. It's still not working. I can't get it to work.
Wow. All right.
Can you see anything?
Well, I see me, of course, but that's okay. I can hear you. It's
Yes.
just
I don't know what's. I don't know. I have no idea.
camera's disabled. I have no idea what if you sneezed and your your touchscreen like mouse pad disabled something. I have no idea, but it's definitely the camera's off. Hold
I don't know
on.
why it would be.
Let me promote you as moderator. All right, so now you're moderator of the chat group. That gives you all kinds of extra functions, but you're still not on video, and it is what it is.
I go on, then I go off. Go on, then I go off. I don't get it. How about now?
No, I haven't seen you come back on. Hey, so listen, the King's coming. When is it? The 22nd, 23rd. It's coming. He's coming soon, right?
What's that?
The King. He's coming like in a week or two.
The
Like
27th.
22nd. 22nd.
27th. The 27th, he'll be here.
Oh shit! Is that race day? That's the 500.
Is it really?
Yeah, the world's not going to be watching. That was stupid.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
He's also old as fuck to begin with.
I'm surprised he recovered from the ailment that he was going through earlier
Yeah,
on. So I don't know how that happened, but good for him. Yeah.
absolutely. I
Mhm.
agree.
So we'll have to wait and see how this whole thing is going to. Like I said, it's going to be such a tug of war between England and America. I got to wait and see how Trump is going to deal with this. I don't know what he's going to say. Not a clue.
Right.
But I know it's going to be a struggle for Canada. And if Trump wants it, I'm telling you, he's going to get it. I don't care what the king said. He's getting it.
I think so. All
Yeah.
right, we got to close this one out, man.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the thing.
Do the thing. Note this call. What if I use the computer?